Imagine you are walking through a local park or visiting a friend's home. A dog approaches you with its tail sweeping side to side rhythmically. It walks up slowly, stops completely, lowers its head slightly, and gives you a direct, unblinking look. Most inexperienced handlers look at that scenario and say, "Oh, look, he's just calculating whether he wants to play or get some belly rubs." Let me give you an immediate reality check. That is absolute cap. You are standing less than 2 seconds away from a potentially catastrophic bite incident. That dog isn't pondering a game of fetch. Its sympathetic nervous system is actively flooding its muscle tissue with adrenaline. Its visual cortex is locked onto your vulnerable throat, and it is executing the final prehistoric calculations before initiating an explosive physical strike.
Most people falsely believe that canine attacks happen completely out of nowhere with zero warning. That narrative is an absolute lie born from human ignorance. Welcome back to Canine Dog Talk, the exact digital headquarters where we completely dismantle dangerous amateur assumptions and break down pure canine behavioral neurology so you can safeguard your physical safety. Today, we are analyzing the high-alert silent precursors that prove a dog is preparing to attack. Let's keep it completely real. A domestic canine will almost never deploy a high-level offensive bite without exhausting a structured ladder of microsignals first. Because dogs cannot vocalize explicit human warnings, their biological software utilizes an advanced physical matrix of structural shifts, muscle tension, autonomic nervous system reflexes, and ocular adjustments. When a human blows right past these subtle somatic milestones, the animal feels backed into an absolute corner, forcing them to escalate their defense mechanism into real violence. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on wolf pack territorial survival and modern clinical ethology to convert you into an expert handler capable of reading pre-aggression before a single tooth touches skin. By the time this deep dive masterclass concludes, you will possess unparalleled expertise regarding defensive canine mechanics. We are mapping out the precise difference between an excited social wag and a predatory rhythmic sweep, why an abrupt structural freeze is the absolute most dangerous variable in a behavioral encounter, and how physiological markers like stress sweating through paw pads can expose an impending strike. If you are ready to master raw canine psychology and achieve absolute environmental awareness, calibrate your focus, check your proximity boundaries, and let's decode the indicators of a canine assault. To accurately decode a pending canine offensive maneuver, you must look through the lens of evolutionary biology and stress physiology. An attack is not an isolated random mood. It is the ultimate culmination of a neurological escalation loop. When a canine perceives a profound threat, its amygdala triggers an immediate autonomic discharge, sending their internal engine into high gear. This physiological shift changes their respiration, muscle density, blood flow, and spatial awareness long before they ever move forward. Let's isolate these physical warning signs piece by piece so you can identify a threat immediately. Metric number 1 is the absolute most hazardous behavioral marker in existence: the sudden kinetic freeze. When a dog is interacting, sniffing, or moving and suddenly turns completely stone still, like a statue carved out of granite, your safety window has essentially closed. This isn't a sign of calm reflection or relaxation. In animal ethology, the freeze is the absolute final stage of tactical assessment before an explosive bite sequence is initiated. The dog's brain is doing intense internal computing, routing all available metabolic energy away from extraneous movement and directly into the primary motor muscles required for lunging. Their internal spring is coiled tightly, and any sudden human movement, high-pitched scream, or rapid retreat will instantly trigger the release of that spring. Moving to metric number 2, the ocular lock and hard stare mechanics. A relaxed canine routinely breaks eye contact as a natural method to signal social peace and avoid unnecessary escalation. Conversely, a dog preparing for an imminent physical engagement will establish an absolute unblinking visual fixation on their target. Their eyes will bulge slightly, exposing a crescent shape of white sclera, a classic physiological marker known as whale eye or hard eye. The pupils will either severely constrict to sharpen distance tracking or dilate immensely due to a massive adrenaline surge. When a dog locks their gaze onto you and refuses to break it even when you shift your posture, their brain has formally categorized you as an active adversary or prey item. Metric number 3 focuses on the deceptive rhythmic tail sweep. As we always preach on Canine Dog Talk, assuming a moving tail indicates friendliness is a critical mistake that lands handlers in emergency rooms. When a dog is about to strike, their tail often moves in a very specific, high-tension configuration. It is typically held high above the horizontal spine line, completely stiff, vibrating with a rapid, fast-twitch oscillation that looks almost like a mechanical metronome. This is a clear indicator of maximum emotional arousal and dominance. Alternatively, in a fear-based defensive attack profile, the tail will be tucked tightly against the perineum, but the tip will twitch with frantic energy. The speed of that motion directly mirrors the intensity of the internal panic driving the dog toward aggression. Let's drop some essential breed-specific psychology here, because genetic working lines and skull architecture completely alter how these pre-attack variables manifest. Consider a high-drive guardian breed like a Rottweiler, a Doberman Pinscher, or a Cane Corso. These dogs were selectively bred for generations to execute defensive operations with intense stoicism. They often skip obvious vocal warnings entirely. You will not hear a loud, performative bark. Their pre-attack sequence is exceptionally quiet, characterized by subtle chest-forward weight shifts and microscopic lip twitches. On the flip side, consider a high-strung herding line like a Belgian Malinois or a German Shepherd. Their escalation pathway is incredibly vocal, chaotic, and rapid, shifting from high-pitched alarm barking to full physical engagement in a matter of milliseconds. Metric number 4 covers muzzle dynamics and commissure shifts. Many people think a dog only bites if they are actively growling with their teeth fully bared. That is a dangerous myth. When a dog prepares for a tactical strike, the corners of their lips, known scientifically as the commissures, will forward shift, forming a distinct upside-down V shape. If it is an offensive threat display, they will retract their lips vertically to expose only their front incisors and canine weapons, wrinkling the top of their muzzle intensely. However, if it is a defensive, fear-induced threat, they will pull the corners of their mouth back horizontally, exposing their entire dental architecture, including the rear molars, while flattening their ears tightly against their skull. Metric number 5 explores weight distribution and spatial leaning. A dog's posture directly reveals their immediate motor intentions. An offensive attacker will deliberately shift their entire center of gravity forward onto their front limbs. They raise their chest, hold their neck completely erect, and lean their mass directly toward you, attempting to dominate spatial territory and maximize the forward momentum of their initial lunge. Conversely, a defensive attacker will drop their hips backward, lowering their physical profile to protect their vulnerable underbelly. If you make the mistake of closing the remaining spatial distance when a defensive dog is leaning back, you pass their critical threshold distance, instantly triggering an explosive defensive strike. Finally, metric number 6 involves hidden autonomic stress indicators. These are involuntary, physiological reflexes controlled directly by the sympathetic nervous system that a dog cannot consciously suppress or fake. Watch for rapid piloerection, commonly referred to as hackles raising. This is when the hair along the spine, shoulders, and base of the tail physically stands up due to the contraction of tiny erector pili muscles. While piloerection simply indicates maximum arousal rather than pure malice, it proves the dog's internal system is fully primed for immediate action. Combine this with sudden hyperventilation, a completely dry nose caused by stress-induced hydration shifts, or damp paw pad prints left on dry pavement, which reveal active stress sweating through their specialized eccrine glands. If this comprehensive canine psychology breakdown completely opened your eyes to the hidden warning signs of an impending attack, and equipped you with the exact tactical knowledge needed to safeguard yourself and your family. Smash that subscribe button right now and hit the like button to push this life-saving video deep into the YouTube algorithm. Drop a comment below telling me your dog's breed, and if you have ever had to diffuse a tense situation with a highly reactive animal. We drop these master-level canine psychology blueprints and tactical safety guides every single week right here on Canine Dog Talk, all engineered to eliminate behavioral chaos and turn you into a flawless handler. Make sure to ring that notification bell so you never miss a critical training drop. Maintain absolute situational awareness. Stay incredibly consistent, and I will catch you in the very next video.